Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special meeting of the Pompey Town Board. It is Monday, December 28th. The time is 6:32. And if we could, I don't know if we can stand for the pledge or what, but if we could all, you're going to probably see the middle of the, but we could say the Pledge of Allegiance together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it
for which it
stands,
stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all.
for all. And I just want to note that this meeting is being held virtually. We continue to hold our meetings virtually as the result of the COVID health emergency pursuant to Governor Cuomo's executive orders that allows us to do so as long as we provide the public with access to observe the meetings in real time and listen, be able to hear them, and also by recording this meeting and providing both the written minutes of the meeting and the recording on our website. So we are using Zoom to live stream tonight. Unfortunately, we continue to have some issues with compatibility with our Facebook page, so we are limited to Zoom tonight. But the meeting is being recorded and will be available on the website. And in attendance tonight, and if you could just acknowledge by a show of hands, Town Councilor Ann Christmas, Town Councilor Judy McElhannon, Town Councilor Carl Dennis, Town Highway Superintendent Tom Purcell, Town Clerk Nikki Reed, Accountant Tom Chartrand, Town Attorney Tim Proteski. While we can't see him, but Larry Fitz, are you there? Our Town Assessor?
I am. I'm hiding behind the screen.
You are what?
I'm kidding. I'm here. Yes. I don't know why my picture is not showing up, but that's
I don't know either. We would love to see your face.
it's beneficial for everybody not to see it.
But we're having a little bit of difficulty hearing you. So I can hear you, but it's muffled.
Okay, I'll try to speak up.
Perfect. That's good. And also Veronica Hoteling is our web manager. She's making sure that this all runs smoothly. Before we get started, I thought we should have a moment of silence for Jim McDermott. He was a highway employee until when he retired, Tom?
May of 17.
2017.
Yeah, May.
And he passed away a couple weeks ago,
December 8th.
December 8th. And he will be sorely missed. I did not know him well, but I did know him. And there are many others on this call that knew him much better than I did. And I just think we could take a moment of silence in his honor. Would appreciate it. Thank you. And Barb, if you to hear this, just to know that our thoughts are with you, his wife, and the rest of his family. So the first thing on our agenda tonight, it's a short meeting, so hopefully, oh, there's Larry, is payment of bills. So we had 4 out of the 5 of us were able to get up to the town hall to take our turn paying bills. So do I have
I'll make a motion.
Make a motion with payment of the bills.
Okay, Ann made a motion. Carl, you second it?
I made the motion too.
Oh, okay. Well, 2. Yeah. Any discussion? Any questions for Tom?
No.
Second.
Or all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Oh, there's Larry. We gotcha. The second thing on the agenda, which just came up last week, the governor has signed an executive order that allows town boards to authorize, and Tim Fitesky, if I get this wrong, I'm relying on you, authorize town boards, or allows town boards to authorize waiving the requirement to renew your exemption for low-income seniors and individuals with disabilities with low income. And really it's done as in an effort to protect those individuals who are some of our more vulnerable in our society from having to travel out to get that renewal done at the town hall. So I think if I read the newspapers and they're accurate, that the Association of Assessors, which I take, Larry, you are a member of in New York State, are the ones that pushed for this. In as much as they didn't want seniors and disabled people having to take a risk, a health risk. So there is a resolution, a draft resolution that, did everybody, Ann, Judy, Carl,
Yes.
see it and read it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you, and so that we have to consider, and I don't even, I'm wondering if there needs to be any discussion about this. Tim, is there anything you want to add to what I said?
Well, yeah, just to explain that the resolution also authorizes or makes an exception for if somebody does apply for it, it can be processed by the assessor. If the assessor, it should be processed by the assessor. And that's to avoid any situations where somebody might be detrimentally affected by not putting in a new contract or a new form. So that's the only kind of little twist in there.
So I've spoken to Larry about this, and Larry, do you want to weigh in on this at all?
Yes. I basically was opposed to the resolution to begin with, but thinking about it more, I think that the resolution makes a lot of sense. My concern was that people expect to get this renewal notification every year in the mail. I've had 3 people call me today asking where it is, and one person calling me today wanting to apply for a new senior citizen exemption because they just turned 65. So in my thoughts, and I prepared a letter which we're going to send to every property owner who received the senior citizen exemption last year. I've given you a copy of that letter, and if for you to look at and edit, we discussed it briefly this afternoon. And I think that if we didn't send this letter, then I would get a lot of calls from people wondering where this was, because a lot of people are not going to read the paper or understand what is being said in the paper. So I think it's a good idea. I think the resolution should be passed, and I think we should send everybody a letter. And in that letter, I also explained that if somebody knows another person who would be eligible for the exemption, they should contact my office by phone, by mail, or by email, and I can send them the application. They can fill it out and they can submit their information. And if I need more information, like copy of their tax return, copies of their W-2s, copies of their social security statements, that we can obtain that through the mail also. So I think this is very workable from my point of view.
Okay. And I think you said that when we talked about this last week, that it's about 100 and maybe 135, 140 property owners that are
Yeah,
involved.
there's approximately
town.
138 property owners that have this exemption, and that's out of, 3,600 parcels and over 2,500 residential properties. So it's really a small number, but it's extremely important to a lot of these people, especially if it's a household where there was a husband and wife and now there's one of the partners is deceased. They're very in difficult income situations.
Okay, well, I appreciate you being on tonight and putting your 2 cents and letting us know what you think. And board members, I did review that letter that Larry's intending to send out. It's very simple, but it's straightforward, not long, and I think it's appropriate to get it out to everybody that's affected so that they know that what the town's doing. Now, that's assuming we pass a resolution. So I'm putting the cart a little bit before the horse, but I'm just curious, does anybody on the board either have a question, a concern as to how to proceed?
Renee, maybe the letter can go on our Facebook page too, so
Yep.
people could see it.
And we could put it on the website, the information.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea. Yes.
Good idea.
So
Good
I would entertain a motion if someone wants to make one.
I make a motion that we consider the resolution to waiver renewal requirements for the tax exempts for low-income seniors and low-income individuals with disabilities.
Second it.
Carl seconded it. Any discussion by anybody? Any more? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And Nikki, I guess we'll get that to you, that resolution.
And I'll make sure I put it on the website and our Facebook page.
Okay, good. Thank you. Before we move on to public comment, something came in hot off the presses today and it's been an issue. So I wanted to, it's not on the agenda, but I wanted to share with the board that we finally got a decision from the state on Sweet Road speed. They are in agreement that there should be implementation of a 45-mile-per-hour buffer zone between the 30-mile-per-hour and the 55-mile-per-hour speed zones on Sweet Road. We are going to be awaiting an official order from them to see exactly what they're talking about as far as where. But the only 30-mile-an-hour zone I know of is coming out of the hamlet of Pompey Hill. Is that correct, Tom Purcell?
Yes, you're correct.
Okay, so I'm expecting that 45-mile-per-hour reduced zone going into the 55 is going to be in that area, which will bring those people there some concerns about traffic. It won't help the people on the northern end of Sweet Road, I doubt, but I'm very happy to report that we got a letter. Go into executive session, but I thought before we did that, if there was public comment, we could take that now. I would like to just emphasize that although we're on a virtual medium, that I still would ask to keep public comment, not to keep, to have anyone who wants to make a public comment to please give their name and where they live, so that, because sometimes people have nicknames, so to just post a comment or want to be unmuted, please identify yourself so we know who you are. And I'm going to ask that each person speak once and then allow other people to have an opportunity. And if anyone feels the need to speak again, to then identify yourself and let us know and take that up. So I don't know if there's anybody on this very short meeting we have tonight, but Veronica?
No, there isn't. And I just think it's, we didn't really give people hardly any notice, so.
Yes, I agree. And I do apologize for that. This meeting was scheduled back on our last board meeting, and we did get the notice in the paper. It just, with the holidays,
Okay.
it sort of crept up on us. So as far as getting the notice on Facebook and the website.
Yep.
So
What we would need to do is to
thank
make,
you.
to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss collective bargaining agreement. And once we're in executive session, I sent out around a phone number for everybody to call so we could participate in executive session. Once that's completed, if there's any votes that are going to be taken, they will be taken and back on Zoom, the Zoom platform in open session.
I make a motion, we go into executive session to discuss collective bargaining and negotiation agreement.
I second it.
Judy seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion to go into executive session carried. So I just want to remind those of you on, first of all, for executive session, it would be just legal board members, and I think Tom Purcell, correct, Tim?
No, Tom,
We don't need
am I
Tom.
going in?
Say that.
Tom, were you planning to go into executive session?
No, I will not go.
Okay. So then it will be just board members and Tim.
Yeah.
And the rest of you can either stay on the call or you can, I would ask everyone that stays on to mute, and you can turn your video off as well. But for board members and Tim, we all need to turn both audio and video off and then use the phone to call into the number that Tim has given us. I'd ask you to do that now.
Judy? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Right, I gotta find it. Zoom screen. Turn the audio off. Turn that off so that's disconnected. The audio.
Do you need me to mute Carl?
Mute.
I'm sorry.
I just muted him.
Aye. Am I back? I think I am.
You are.
Yep,
We're all here.
that was too
Hey,
easy.
Judy, there's Sam.
Here's Judy. Okay, so we have returned from executive session, having made a motion to leave executive session and come back into, do we need a motion now to come back into open session, or we are?
No, no, you're in.
Okay,
You're back
I'll
in.
get the hang of this.
Okay.
Okay, so Tim, I don't have to make any notes in the meeting minutes of when you guys leave executive session to go back into regular,
Yep.
but that doesn't need a motion. I just need to make note of the time.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
And I'll give executive session, the motion was made by Carl and seconded by Judy at 7:02 to come out of executive session.
And Tim, do you want to just
Yep.
advise us
Yeah.
how to proceed?
So one of the things, so the thing we discussed in executive session had to do with the collective bargaining agreement that each of you have. You've been provided a copy of the collective bargaining agreement. It's a one-year agreement, and the terms and conditions are set forth in the agreement. Has everybody had a chance to read the agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so at this point, if the board so desires, we can move forward with a motion to approve the contract as submitted by Jermaine and Jermaine, who was the negotiator on this contract.
I make a motion, we accept the contract as submitted by Jermaine and Jermaine.
Second,
Carl made a motion and seconded it. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I would take a roll call on this, I guess. Carl,
Aye.
Judy? Judy? Anne? I'll come back to- Judy, can you unmute and give us your vote? Or do thumbs up, thumbs down?
Well, Veronica, do you have to unmute her?
She is,
There.
she's not muted.
Judy, can you hear us? If you can, will you nod?
She's gonna, she's probably gonna rejoin the meeting. Something's wrong with the audio. Judy, can you hear us or no?
Here we go.
He's arrived.
You there, Judy?
She's not muted, so I don't know.
Can she call in?
You can call, why don't you?
I'm calling her. Renee, I'm calling her.
Okay, thank you.
She's not answering. Okay, let me try the other number.
Hello.
Renee, can you hear her?
I can hear,
Judy,
I can hear Judy.
Can you
she
hear us?
Yeah, I couldn't, but I can hear you now.
Okay. Is it
Can
gonna
she hear the rest
suffice?
of us? Anne, can she hear the rest of us?
Jude,
But I couldn't-
can you
Yeah.
hear Renee talking?
Can you
Okay,
hear me,
Renee,
Judy?
Can you hear Carl?
Whoa,
Nope, I
whoa.
can just hear you. I don't know what happened. I lost everybody. I saw everybody's picture, but I didn't have the voice.
Yeah.
They're making a motion, Judy, to vote on the contract, and Renee's doing a roll call vote.
I say yes.
Tell her Carl made the motion and you seconded it.
Carl made the motion, I seconded it. Carl said aye, I said aye, aye. She said aye.
Judy says aye and I say yes. So motion carried.
And
Department
Yep.
has a collective bargaining agreement, which I will sign,
Yes.
signed by the union on, and dated. So I'll get that back to Bob maybe, or the union and or,
no, probably to Bob, and he'll send it.
Okay.
He'll send it up.
okay.
So everybody's authorizing Renee to sign this contract on
Yes.
behalf of the town?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
All
he
right.
said, or Judy said yes.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to say thank you to everybody that participated in getting this agreement to this point. It was definitely a process, and I think everyone bargained in good faith and reached a compromise agreement. And it is for the year, so we will revisit probably next fall. But thank you, everyone, including Robert Jermaine. And
Yes. He's texted me and asked me how it's going. So I told him, and I'm asking him now.
tell him it's over.
Yeah.
So unless someone has anything else, I think we could entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Carl? I would second that. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned. Everyone be safe and have a happy new year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
January
everybody.
4th, organizational
Next
meeting.
week.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, Jude. I'll talk to you tomorrow.